is the dumbest, the stupid man. Listen, he's a failure, a complete failure. MC Hammer went broke. Bobby Brown went broke. I guess we're just waiting on Floyd Mayweather to go broke. Many of his fighters are broke. No, listen to what I'm saying. Broke. Al, this is sad, man. 200 or 300 families, man, struggling. And guess what? Y'all better start talking. Because if y'all don't talk, guess what? Politics as usual. You know what I mean? So y'all do what you do. I just literally had to come back and say, and I want the hate videos. Oh, I want the hate videos. Because all I'm going to do is pull up a Deontay Wilder clip. Bring the hate. I hate Fred now. Because he's an idiot now. And I won't stop now. He's an idiot now. He's insecure now. What else? I'm insecure. What else y'all put in my comments? I'm insecure. I hate black people. So what you got to say about Al? If you calling me stupid or a liar or crazy, you got to call Deontay Wilder stupid, liar, and crazy.
And those are the words of Fred from Barbershop Conversations. And he is basically reiterating what Deontay Wilder, another Al Haymon fighter, has said about getting paid on time, and how that's a problem. We learned that Adrian Broner was one of the first guys that whistle blew. I mean, one of the first real guys. I don't mean like a Mikey Garcia or a Robert Guerrero, guys that are pretty much free agents that actually went somewhere else. And, I'm talking about the dedicated circle of guys, like Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, Errol Spence, Wilder, Deontay Wilder. These guys were dedicated, and they will pretty much, slit their wrists before talking about Al Haymon. But now times are changing, and Fred has actually been on a crusade for the last couple years, really speaking and leaking what he's heard from execs from PBC, that's showing that the numbers or the money is not there for the fighters, and a lot of fighters are broke. There are trails and evidence of this happening, not made up fake news, none of that, right? Real stuff, like genuine stuff that lets you know that people or boxers are financially going through problems, okay? Example, Jamal Charlo's wife saying how junky his house looks. He can't even afford to put or keep up his upkeep in his lawn service because he ain't got a fight, or he won't get a fight, and we're broke. He doesn't have any money, this, that, and the other. Okay? And what's been revealed, that's an example. What's being revealed to us is that Al Haymon is pretty much pinching people off and giving them hey, this is pacifying money. Let me give you some pacify money to shut you up right now. Here's a few quid, right? Here's 20 grand. All right, here's 20 grand on top of something that I promised to owe you from some fight that you supposed to got kicked back for when you fought months ago. Or if not last year, because a lot of these fighters don't fight like that. When was Danny Garcia last in the ring? Who did he fight last? Matter of fact, let's look. He's an Al Haymon guy. I remember Angel Garcia said, I would give my life. I would take a bullet for Al Haymon, right? So we have Danny Garcia. When was the last time he's fought? Okay. Let's look at his last fight. His last fight was July 30th of 2022. So that's like 8 months ago. So, guys like that haven't fought in a while, hopefully they're getting their money. But then yet Deontay Wilder, if he's complaining about getting paid, there has to be some type of issue. And what does this show us? Okay. Not that I'm happy that PBC's broke. What I am content with, okay, and I've come to the realization that you should never look at a particular network or promotional outfit as the only source of the sport that you support. Bars. Why? Because I've learned this, and I had to deal with it myself with DAZN. These companies do whatever it takes to stay afloat, or they won't. Okay, DAZN wanted Canelo, so Canelo wanted to implement pay-per-view, which sucks because he was the same advocate for not supporting pay-per-view and trying to kill pay-per-view and saying pay-per-view was dead. You know, and I was supporting it only because people were putting it down. And the people that were putting it down are the same people that were supporting the PBC. But understand, the PBC was once under attack also. And I was defending them. Okay, against guys, our promotional companies like Top Rank with Bob Arum and Oscar De La Hoya with Golden Boy. And they were trying to sue them, and they were suing Premier Boxing Champions because of how this should be on premier or premium channels and pay-per-view and all this stuff, where Al Haymon ingeniously put it on free TV for the time being, not knowing that that billion-dollar budget that he had would shrivel down to Floyd Mayweather's salary to keep that money up. Because you think Al Haymon is giving him or giving them some of his own money? Chances are maybe not. Maybe some, but maybe not. Okay, so what Fred was saying was like, well, hey, if Floyd is making or keeping the PBC afloat by these guys or whatever, well, pretty soon he'll be broke trying to finance these guys from Al Haymon borrowing money from him, and he's like a silent financial partner and an angel investor, so to speak, of keeping that promotional company afloat. Well, that's what you're gonna get. That's what you're gonna deal with. You're gonna eventually go broke. Why do you think Floyd does a exhibition every so often and get 10, 20 million? That 10, 20 million is probably, like Fred said, is refunneled back into PBC Premier Boxing Champions. Okay? And with Al Haymon. You know, and it's crazy that everybody did jump on Fred. And it was surprising and refreshing to see Fred, which was, if he was not, or probably was once upon a time, the LDBC or one of those guys or one of those affiliates or whatever. Maybe he was like Aki or Dante's Boxing Nation. I'm not sure. I don't know. I just know all those guys were cool, and now they're slowly starting to dissolve. And it just goes to show you, you should speak for yourself, because your voice is not everyone else's. So a consortium of people shouldn't have the same regurgitated bullshit as the next channel, okay? Because that makes you unique or special from the next channel when you support your own thoughts and ideas, okay? And going back to the promotional companies and the tribalism of certain networks like Showtime and PBC, and then you got DAZN over here, the first streaming service of boxing, and they have others, you know, like Triller, really, right? One of them, all right? But I think that we all should learn from HBO. Oh, yeah. HBO was that channel, that sports channel that people, man, I only watch HBO. And then some people only watch Showtime. And then it just got ridiculous. You know, Showtime, when Al Haymon came, he was like the face of Showtime and PBC. And these guys, you know, he had connections and ties with all these guys. And then they, of course, in return, gives him 25%. Now, what sucks is, does Al Haymon have to wait for his 25%? And if he does, he's still guaranteed 25%. Like Bernard Hopkins said, once you don't label yourself as a promoter and you are labeled as an advisor, you can rate or charge anything you want. See, the Muhammad Ali Act stopped guys like Don King from taking full control over the situation, you know, and he bypassed it by simply labeling himself as an advisor. Slick thing to do. But if you do everybody wrong, or you don't come up with the money that you owe people, people are going to start eventually talking. See, Adrian Broner was just the beginning. Now understand this. Speaking of Robert Guerrero was one of those guys that had a problem with Al Haymon. It got swept under the rug, though. If you guys remember, Robert Guerrero was complaining about getting fights with Al Haymon after the Floyd fight. Floyd got out of jail after Manny Pacquiao got knocked out. Fought Robert Guerrero, and Guerrero had problems finding another fight after that. So he felt jaded and ripped off because he's like, okay, what the hell is this? So that was one of the first people that had problems with the PBC, that other people didn't matter. Oh, well, he's not black, so who cares? Now you have Adrian Broner, African American, saying, look, you had to wait for so much money, and I'm tired of Al Haymon pinching money off the money that he owes me. First example. Second, which is legitimately, the third is Deontay Wilder. Okay, now saying that, hey, we got to wait to get paid. Well, who has Wilder been with for the last 10 years? Al Haymon. So he's talking about Al Haymon and the inability for Al Haymon to pay those guys what they owe, or what's owed to them. And Fred from Barbershop Conversations is just letting you know, like, look, this is not what you think it is. This is not hate. I've been telling you guys that I've had the info that something ain't quite right. They don't have the money. And if you don't believe me, now ask someone else like Deontay Wilder. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Fred from Barbershop Conversations. Once again, reiterating that the PBC and Al Haymon are broke. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!